Good evening, everybody. Philadelphia, South Jersey, and wherever you may be watching. Nernshaw Radio is back. Yes, we had a week off last week. Does feel a little under the weather. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we're back this week for another edition of Nernshaw Radio. Remember, this show is powered by BFA Sports. Remember to like, subscribe on the BFA Sports YouTube channel, as well as Nernshaw Radio on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it at this point. But we got a lot to talk about. You can do all that now. You can do it later. Save it for maybe the middle of the show. I don't think you want to miss the middle of the show, so do it now real quick while you got a second or two. Like, subscribe, reshare. We have a ton to get into tonight. A ton. I missed last week. Didn't really get to talk about the ugly win against the Detroit Lions. So we'll talk about an ugly loss. How about that? We'll talk about that for this week. It's good to be back. And let's just jump right into it. Philadelphia Eagles fall 24-21 to the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. Week 12 action in Dallas, wearing the Kelly green. See, I got it on today. Holy moly, where do we even start with the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, yesterday, you saw a perfect encapsulation of the good of this offense, right? Started out. First 10 to 15 plays, right? First couple drives, scripted, ready to go. They're firing all cylinders. A.J. Brown's getting a couple catches. He scores a touchdown early. They're firing. All right, going up 21-0 on the Dallas Cowboys. Belt to, I'm just kidding. No belt to ass, because they gave up yesterday. That's what happened to the Philadelphia Eagles. They gave up. And there are so many things that went into that tumultuous loss, and we're going to break them all down. And this has been brewing for a while now. There is multiple facets to this entire picture of the Eagles offense. There are multiple reasons, not just one. You can't just put it on one thing. I think there's other parts of this entire equation that are more important to the, I guess, negative energy of the offense. There's more percentage-wise. I think it's more his fault, or more their fault, or more this person's fault, or more the collective's fault. There are multiple reasons why the offense is not operating correctly. But with that being said, and we'll break it down, the Eagles right now, I saw a stat today. I believe it was Sheil Kapadia put it out. The Eagles right now are 25th in the National Football League in success rate, which means producing a positive play. Do you know who they were equivalent to in producing a positive play on the offensive side of the ball? The New York Jets. That's not company you want to be in if you are the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts and hundreds of $millions invested in the wide receivers. A lot of money invested in the backfield. A lot of money invested in the quarterback. A lot of money invested in the offensive line. Remember, we went into this season, coming off the Super Bowl, talking about, well, they're returning the entire offense, so that's a good thing. The defense has been spectacular. Yesterday, things will happen. But we went into this year talking about how much of a positive it was that the Eagles came back with relatively the same offense minus Mekhi Becton. Well, that hasn't seemed to matter one bit. Not at all. Nada. Zip. Zero. This offense stinks. Stinks. And yesterday, you thought the total opposite early on, about 4:30. Got your popcorn, got your chicken wings. You're looking at the TV. You're enjoying yourself. Get a couple brews with you. You're going up 21-0 on Dallas. In Dallas at the Kelly Grades. Awesome. Great way to start your evening watching football on a Sunday in November. Beautiful. And then the second half happened. And things got out of hand. Overall, 14 penalties yesterday by the Philadelphia Eagles. Not going to cut it. Not going to cut it. 5 for 12 on third down. Once again, not going to cut it. Big story this year. Third down efficiency. This team doesn't like staying on the field, so no wonder that the defense is going to start giving up some points and giving up some plays because the offense can't stay on the field. So there's that. You know, the first 4 games, scoring over 20 points. 7 games since then. 10 points, 16 points, 17 points, 17 points, 21 points, 21 points. Mediocre. And this is a Super Bowl, defending Super Bowl championship team we're talking about here offensively. Now, were they amazing and all-worldly last year on offense? No. But with the talent that this team has, you can't go scoreless over your final 8 drives yesterday. You can't do it. It's hard to do, frankly. 24th in yards per game right now. 25th in yards per rush. And we'll start there with the rush. This team cannot run the football. And there's a couple reasons for it. Number one, the offensive line has not been the same offensive line we have seen in years past. That is clear cut. They have battled injuries. Cam Jurgens been in and out of the lineup. Jordan Mailata has even said he has not played up to his standard. He's not played well. Lane Johnson, out. And you know what the record is now? 15-24. They continue to lose without Lane Johnson. 15-24 without him now. Add that loss yesterday to the record without Lane Johnson. They lose Mekhi Becton. Little shaky on the interior side. Tyler Steen at the guard position. 30 penalties in the last 3 games. Unacceptable. So it starts at the offensive line. They've been banged up. They have not played well. Guys have been in and out of the lineup. Lane Johnson now missing time. Not good for your team. Not good for this team specifically. So that's your bread and butter. That then causes also Saquon, who's coming off a 2,000-yard season, utilized heavily last year. They could lean on him last year. He is not the same player. He's getting because of how bad the offensive line has been, they were at the top of the top where he wasn't taking any contact for a couple of yards. Yesterday in Dallas, it was -1. He couldn't get to the line of scrimmage without being touched by a defensive player. Yards before contact, -1 yesterday. It has dropped almost, I think, more than a full yard. Full yard from last year to this year, and it's towards the bottom of the league. That is issue number 1, okay? That's part of the problem. And if you've listened to 97.3 ESPN, Mike Gill, Nick's Nuggets, do a segment every day at 4:30. We've talked about the pie chart. He's brought up the pie chart, Mike has. And this is part of the equation, in my estimation. I think we're all in agreement on that for the most part. That's part of it. So, with that being said, the quarterback, listen, if you've listened to me, if you've heard me on this show, if you've heard me on other shows, if you've heard me in the past, if you've seen my Twitter, if you've seen my social media, I will defend Jalen Hurts forever. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a talented quarterback. I think he's underrated. I think he's unfairly criticized at times. I think he's a tremendous leader on the football field. That being said, I don't know what's going on this year. I don't know. Something's got to be going on behind the scenes. Has he had the best year ever? No. No, he hasn't. He's put actually up some pretty good numbers. He's been fairly efficient. They've been really conservative throughout the year. But there's a Derek Gunn reports. There's stuff that coming out that he, in the locker room, people are frustrated in the building with how he's approaching things and how he's going about it this year. Which, everyone's still open to criticism. We don't know. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So there's the Jalen factor. Okay? There's that aspect of it. There's the A.J. Brown stuff, the lack of targets, him complaining, going on social media, all of that type of stuff. So some of it's the offensive line, some of it's the running game, some of it's the quarterback, some of it's the wide receiver. But I think the biggest part of the problem is the coaching. It is clearly the coaching. If you realize, now let me take a step back, actually. It starts with the head coach, okay? And I'll get to Patullo. I'll get to him. Guy's gotten enough criticism, plenty, over the past couple of weeks, or pretty much the whole year. It starts with Nick Sirianni, and it goes back to a macro issue here. That Kevin Patullo has had a lack of play calling experience. He's had none. So with that being said, when you have a championship level roster, you have all pros surrounding this roster on offense, at the receiving positions, the quarterback position, running back, offensive line. You need somebody in there calling plays. And Kellen Moore got better as the year went on last year because we were giving him crap last year as well. He got better as the year went on. But you need an experienced play caller or someone with a creative gene and a creative feel. Kevin Patullo has not called plays in the National Football League until this year. They have a bland offense. So many smart football people just have no idea what they are doing on offense. The lack of creativity on the routes, not scheming guys open, schematically not finding a way to get your best players the ball, not being able to adjust for the way you've played over the past couple of years. Starts with the head coach. You need an innovator with an offense like this. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard when you have all of this talent and winning mass a lot. They're still 8-3. But they don't have a guy who can adjust from what they've been doing in the past. He has been here for a while. He's been on the coaching staff. They made this poor decision by hiring from within a couple of years ago. Brian Johnson didn't work. They do it again this time after winning the Super Bowl. It's not working. There's been flashes, but there's no rhyme or reason to the offense. They don't take shots. They want to be efficient all the time. They want to be conservative. And frankly, against Dallas, they were taking more shots early on. But following the scripted plays and following early on in the ball game, they could not get anything going. And when they lost the run game, not good. Then you add on the penalties on top of that. You got to have your guys more prepared and more disciplined than that. It looked like a mess. There has been no rhyme or reason to this offense. There's been a lack of creativity with this offense. They have just not figured it out. And he was not the right guy from the start. If you remember early on in the season, Jalen Hurts did not have a glowing review when asked about Kevin Patullo at the helm. Just go back and find the tape. He did not impress Gaggles. If you remember early on, training camp, it wasn't a glowing review of Kevin Patullo. And if you're Jalen Hurts, you've had a new guy every year. And then if they just put the graphic up against Detroit with all of the guys he's worked with since freaking college and high school, I mean, it's a joke. They can't keep guys around, which is an issue. But it starts with Sirianni, and this is his team. This is his offense. He made the wrong call with Patullo. Now you have an opportunity to make the right call. You got to move on from Kevin Patullo calling plays. You can keep him on the roster. I know it's week 12. But like I mentioned, the success rate of producing a positive play this year is around the same rate as the New York Jets, 25th in the league. They are not in a good spot. They were scoreless on their last 8 drives. They couldn't figure out a 5-man front. Who can't figure that out in the NFL? They don't have Shane Steichen, who's more innovative. He's been really good at finding a way to get the Colts to be really relevant this year with Daniel Jones. There's guys on the on the coaching staff that have called plays before. Quarterbacks coach Scott Loeffler, Parks Frazier, passing game coordinator, Jason Michael, tight ends coach. They've all called plays at the college or the NFL level. You can make the change, or Nick Sirianni could be a leader, and I don't know how much worse it could get. Maybe he takes it over. Just a thought. But it's not working. It's not working. Great. You could script the first 15 to 20 plays, score touchdowns. Great. Early on in the game. What about when they adjust to that? What about coming out of halftime? What about finding a rhyme or reason when the run game's not working? What about scheming guys open? What about not running a hitch route every 3 seconds? What about that? What about having some life to the offense? Some fire. Jalen Hurts talked about fire in his post-game presser yesterday. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Shout out to Jeff. He's chiming in. He says the Eagles have 3 layups left on the schedule. 2 at Washington, Vegas, who just fired Chip Kelly, by the way. They made a move, even though they stink. Add 1 more win over Chicago, LA, or Buffalo, and that gets you to 12-5. I hope you and your family have a happy Thanksgiving. Well, you too, Jeff. You too. You too. And he said on one other change on offense, terrible offensive coordinator. Comment what you think. Comment what you think. Can they go forward with him calling the plays? They have guys that have done it on the coaching staff. Something's got to change right now. Now, I know the reports about Jalen. Is he in the room saying one thing and they're doing another, or is it vice versa? Are they not on the same page? This is where the head coach has to come into play. Has to. Has to. If you're the Eagles and you're Nick Sirianni, you're supposed to be the rah-rah leader. And, you see interviews, guys say he's holding people accountable. Well, it's not showing and replicating on the field because you had 14 penalties. You had 30 over the last 3 games. It's not replicating. I'm sorry. It's just not showing on the field. You're not scoring points. Your offense is bland when you have hundreds of millions of dollars invested in all pros on this roster. There is a problem. It's been like Shane Steichen's been like the only guy to really get this thing going. It was creative. And I understand the offensive line is usually what holds this team down on both ends, the offense and defensive lines, right? In the trenches. They're still 8-3. They're finding ways to win, except for yesterday. That's when it all comes crashing down. That is a season-changing loss. That could kill this team, or it could really propel this team. That loss yesterday to Dallas, and the Kelly Greens, too. They are not allowed to wear Kelly Greens ever again. Ever again on the road. Save them for at home. Losing in the Kelly Greens. What a joke. That's a loss that will either propel this team into winning a second straight Super Bowl or will crumble this team. It's one or the other. I hope it's not the latter. I hope it's not 2023. I hope it's not that. I hope they don't crumble because of this. Drop a thought on the Eagles offense in the comments. Drop a thought at Nerdshaw Radio, at BFA Sports. Let me know what you're thinking and where you're at I'm over the Kevin Patullo stuff. And, I'll bring it up real quick since I have it somewhere here. Nick Foles, I saved this in my bookmarks the other day. He talked about the offense as a whole and Kevin Patullo. I'm going to play a clip from it and tell me just where you are on this and what you make of hearing this from Nick Foles. I'm going to try and get it up in just a second here. I'm doing both things at once. I think he makes a really good point. People around this town are so concerned of how this offense operates. Why can't they figure it out? Why can't they get these guys involved? By the way, AJ had a great day yesterday, especially early on. He had a great day. So I want to play this clip from Nick Foles' podcast, his thoughts on the offense and his thoughts on Kevin Patullo. Take a listen to this real quick.
There's just an art, and I don't see that this year. I don't think anyone sees it. Even fans that are passionate Eagles fans, because I spent a lot of, I've been to Philly several times, and you hear every time I run across Philly, man, what do you think is going to happen with the offense? Mm-hmm. What's going on? Like, is this Jalen? I'm like, listen, it's a team thing. When you get listen, Kevin Patullo is probably a great dude, great coach, but there's an art to play calling that not everyone has, and it's not showing up this year. So I agree with you. There's an
art to play calling that not everyone has. Kevin Patullo does not have that art. He just doesn't. And I know, maybe I'm the guy yelling about the coaches. I just fire everybody. No. There is an issue here. There's been an issue since the start of the year. We kind of felt it. Early on. But we kind of knew. They shouldn't have hired from within again. Go outside the organization. This team needs to go outside the organization to bring a fresh face into how to utilize this offense. And Kellen Moore made a massive, massive mistake going to New Orleans. Maybe he'll figure it out down there. But would you rather have another year with Hurts, A.J. Brown, Smith, maybe going to win another Super Bowl, or go down there to New Orleans? Now, would he be the end-all, be-all savior? I don't know. We don't know that answer. But, I mean, it's got to be better than this. Anything could be better than this. I just lifted off names. Guys who call plays via Ruben Frank, NBC Sports Philly. Great article today. Great article about Kevin Patullo and why he cannot call plays. It can't get worse. It can't. There's just no rhythm with this offense. And listen, Jalen's had really good games. Minnesota, great game. AJ had a big game yesterday early on. One of his best ones of the year. It's in them. They can go down the field. They choose not to turn the ball over. And guess what? Yesterday, they turned the ball over. 2 horrific, horrendous, atrocious turnovers. Atrocious. The Gibson punt thing was absolutely despicable. Despicable. That guy was cut from the New York Jets because he fumbled all the time. What on earth are you doing fielding a ball at the 1 yard line inside the 5 in that situation, taking it out and getting absolutely pummeled? I mean, it's just stupid football. Where the hell is Britton Covey when you need him? I mean, my goodness. Guys on the practice squad doing nothing. I see TikToks of him on the Eagles, TikTok and all, in the locker room doing that. He should be fielding punts. Special teams this year has been a disaster, an absolute disaster. And yesterday was a prime case of it. What on earth? There's no football IQ in that decision. None. It's just not a smart play. Like anyone with a half a brain knows that. You don't take the ball out right there. Let it go into the end zone. Let him down at the 1, for goodness sake. And then Saquon fumbles. He fumbles. This is a team that's supposed to be efficient. They're fumbling and bumbling all over the place yesterday. It's not good. The offense is not in a good spot. This team, they're 8-3. I'm getting shades at 23 at this point. Where is Britton Covey? Kidding me? Fielding the ball at the 1. I mean, that was such a costly mistake. One non-mistake like that goes their way yesterday, they might win the ball game. Not, great fashion, but they might win it. And yesterday, those 2 mistakes really cost them. Really cost them. And going forward, you got to jump right back into it. You're playing a good Chicago team. A good Chicago team. They've been playing good football all year. I know we want to laugh. It's the Bears and Caleb Williams a little goofy. But they got a good football team coming up against Chicago on Friday. Quick week, short week. Not even a Thursday. It's a Friday, so it's even everything else is thrown off. They got to jump right into it. You lose Andrew Makuba, one of your starting safeties, guy who's really getting a lot of reps. Fangio was starting to have a lot of confidence in him. He fractures his ankle. Guys are starting to get hurt, go out of the lineup. Lane Johnson, you don't have him again. You're now 15-24 without him, under 500. Something's got to change. Something must change. Because this team will not go back to the Super Bowl. They will not be in Santa Clara this year with the way they are operating at the moment. And this goes to the head coach, Nick Sirianni. This is his team. This is his offense. Own it. Own it. Because it's bland. It's boring. It stinks. You played undisciplined football yesterday. You played non-efficient football yesterday. And you lost the game. The issue has been, all right, we've kind of known for most of the year, the O-line's been banged up. There's been problems on the offensive line. Where is the adjustment to the players you have? Okay, this year we can't really rely on Saquon all of the time. We can't rely on him. We got to find other ways to get our receivers involved, get the running back involved in the passing game, something. Find a way to scheme these guys open. It's like when you watch the Rams, who are now the 1 seed, by the way, even though you own the tiebreaker. I mean, that's a massive loss. It's like a given. You know that Puka Nacua is going to have 15 to 20 receptions a game. It's like a given. He's going to get the ball at least 15 times. He might, get 2 yards on a catch 6 times, but he's going to have 1. The lack of innovation, the lack of evolving. It has worked for the past couple years for the most part. Where is the evolution of this offense? I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And Kevin Patullo, the lack of experience, with the lack of imagination, has to give up the play calling. Has to. They're at a point where it could turn ugly really fast, because if you're going 3 and out, you're going to tire out the defense. The defense is getting a little banged up now. Cooper DeJean on the outside. Was it lovely yesterday? Prefer to have him on the inside, right? And Pickens just made some really good catches. CD had some drops, but also made some big catches when he needed to. You can't have these types of issues in week 12, heading into week 13 in November. It can't happen if you want to repeat. It just can't. It can't happen if you want to repeat. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. And, maybe get Tank Bigsby involved. Do something. You trade for this guy. He seems to have given you a spark at times, breaking off a big run here, running a little violently, breaking off 7-8 yards. Maybe get Tank involved. I don't know how you have all these weapons. I know it's hard to feed everybody, but feed one guy. Find somebody. Do something. Find some consistency here. They took more shots yesterday early. It's not good. It's not good. All right. That's enough of Eagles. Sixers lost to the Heat yesterday, but didn't get a chance to talk about Maxey's 54 points the other night. Ridiculous. The guy is in a sphere for possible MVP, just at least in the conversation, taking a leap. We got the updates about Embiid for tomorrow's game. Flyers are going to lose to Tampa Bay tonight. For Tuesday against Orlando, Embiid is questionable. Remember, he's dealing with that right knee issue. George and Maxey are probable. Edgecombe is out. It can't stay healthy, man. But, hey, they're much better. They're deeper. They're finding more ways to win this year than they have ever before. So we'll take it. We'll take that for sure. Before I get out of here, we got to address. I was out last week. I was sick, under the weather. There's all these meds. So I apologize. I was feeling good. I got ripped on the radio for this sports bash. Guys were ripping me. Texters were ripping me. God, can a guy get sick anymore? It's November, but we're doing much better. Just want to say that. It was not skipping work or anything. I enjoy what I do. I don't want to miss it, but it was definitely fun having a little fun with that. Those guys, busting my chops. The Gen Zers, the Zoomers out here. Take a day or two. I have no problem with that. You get back out 100%. I feel more energized than ever now. I'm like ready to go. Let's go. More energized than the Eagles in the second half yesterday. That's for sure. That's for sure. Flyers fall tonight 3-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Birds back on Friday. Also have something I have brewing that I will be announcing soon. Yeah, soon. That's all. I'll leave it there. I'll be announcing something soon. So stay tuned on the socials at Nernshaw Radio, Remember, this podcast powered by BFA Sports. So I have an announcement coming. Also, House of Highlights got another episode I'm a part of. It's a basketball related one. Will be coming out very soon. I'll be sharing that out when that episode drops within the next couple of weeks. Could be this Friday. I'm not sure. But that was a lot of fun. Went back up to New York City to do that. Always meeting some great people up there, talking ball. So that's coming on the horizon, and then a big announcement coming as well. So stay tuned. I'm not taking any more days off. I don't plan on it. So hopefully, we stay healthy. I hope everyone else stays healthy. And if I don't talk to, if you're not listening on the radio over the course of the next couple of days, I hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. Enjoy the time off with your families. Do not forget about Thanksgiving. We seem to forget about Thanksgiving when it goes Halloween. We don't go straight to Christmas and all that. Thanksgiving. All right. Don't forget about it. It's one of the best holidays there is. All right. Enjoy the turkey. I have mine dry. People roast me for that. I get the mashed potatoes, all that. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Christmas will be here, and all the holidays around December will be here. New Year. Enjoy Thanksgiving. It's a nice meal, nice time with your family. Black Friday, you can go bananas on Black Friday, but enjoy Thanksgiving. All right. Hopefully everyone has a good one out there. Thanks everyone chiming in, tuning in tonight. Go Birds. I hope. Oh, Chicago. Good. Might not be good. All right, guys. I will talk to you soon. Peace.